What's up? Today we're going to be talking about dream control, and look what I got. Markers and an eraser magnet. That's beautiful. I've got the comments turned so they shouldn't have as much lag as they often do, so feel free to comment as much as possible. I always love questions and comments throughout. What's up, Maddie? I don't know how to say the last part. Maddie, welcome to the stream. We're going to be talking about dream control. The good old DC. It's going to be an exciting time. I'm going to wait a little bit just because I think some people might show up around, right now, popping in. Until then, you've had some lucid dreams, right? Or you're at zero? Maddie. I can wait for your answer. So this should be a thing about dream control. It's going to be talking about different ideas. 16. Nice. So that's good. Yeah. So this should be good ideas that I think people from um, early on in lucid dreaming and later on can get ideas from this. It's not going to be anything like, I don't think there's anything such as like advanced and not advanced dream control. More like ways to use it. Like the way that I use dream control was a lot different than most people, and I think it led me in a different roundabout way than most people. And now I can use it like most people use it, but I generally um, I generally use it like I use it because it's a little more fun and more skipping. What the frick? Had to had a long break and now just two since you were back. Okay, yeah, that happens. Long breaks can happen. Usually there's more than one person at this time. I'm gonna go ahead and pop over to Omni's Discord and share it because I may just not have popped off for people. I think you can still hear me while I'm doing this, but you can't see me. So yeah, this is gonna be a great time to learn about fun dream control as well, not just practical dream control. I put 10 practical because I felt sounded like a better title for a video. Um, but all in all, yeah, it's really weird. I don't know. Usually Corin's here. Usually a few different people are here. Welcome, Corin. Let's go ahead and move this back to where it was. Yeah, more people showing up. Dream Recall video went. I did a video on Dream Recall. It just wasn't a full stream. Or it wasn't a edited video. It was just a stream about it. If you have any questions about Dream Recall, you can feel free to ask them. I'll be talking mainly about dream control, but I can also answer questions about Dream Recall and the like. Um, so, a little bit of background on dream control. Um, just a real fast thing is I consider dream control to be anything that you do in a dream is technically controlling the dream. Now, you have, hold on, I need a drink. You have different ways that people might classify dream control. They might say, like, anything that your conscious does, I'm just going to put conscious there for that, versus subconscious, right? Anything your conscious does is dream control. Anything your subconscious does isn't. Which is, like, fair. Like, if I have a dream that I'm going around shooting lasers because I, had, like, played too much Halo, then I don't know if that's dream control. Now, if you intentionally change the dreamscape from what it originally seemed to be, then that might be a better way too. I'm glad you can hear me, Hookif. Um, then that might be a better way to describe dream control. I see it as like anything that you would do in a dream. Even if I look at non-lucid dreams, I can see dream control all throughout. So I have a weird way of looking at dream control. Now, One of the reasons is because of dream incubation. I can choose what I'm going to dream about before I dream. I started this when I was 16, and I started getting started by using telekinesis, put in fire, Rasen gun, Melshi's door, just long list of things like that. Yeah, you never thought of it that way. Yeah, it's well, when you've been doing something for 10 years consistently, and you can only do it at night, then that means like every day you just have like this long period where you're just kind of like waiting to do it again and you're theorizing about it and thinking about it too much. So it's just way too much downtime. My mind is always insanely active and can't like stop. Uh, so yeah. So with dream control, I like to put it as like passive versus active or just different ways. But I think that any way that you separate dream control versus not dream control, or you separate it like passive active, or you put it like what are the other ways? Universe control or breaking the universe control. Like there's all sorts of different ways you can put it, and no matter what, they're going to be they're going to make sense because that's the whole point of dream control is something that makes sense and works. And if it does, then it doesn't matter. The rest doesn't matter because it's all a deception in the end. Because the truth behind all of the dream control is that at the end of the day, you're really just laying in bed sleeping. So it's hard to judge when someone says, "Ah, dream control is all about this," and their dream world works like that. Now, oh, what's up, Semi? What's up, Sealed Onion? Um, so some people are going to say it works all based on expectation. I'm gonna write that down because I don't like it. I don't like using that word for it. Now, the reason I don't like it is because it is, I'd say it's a very small version of dream control, and for people that it works, and for people that it doesn't work, it um, just frustrates and makes it harder for them. Because I would say maybe it does work off of expectation, but it works off of your subconscious expectation based on how you perceive reality, right? Now that's way more complicated. Um, and it's Corin says I know it's off topic. I said you can ask off topic questions. That's fine. Recently, I had a dream where I said this is a dream at some point, and I did a bunch of stuff that I want to do when I become lucid. But then there was no feeling of lucidity and awareness. Do you think that's a good sign on my journey to lucid dreaming? And of course, it's a good sign. In fact, I would say it's a lucid dream. But I would say it's probably a railroaded lucid dream. Like you dreamed about it. Now you were there. You might not have been making all the decisions that you wanted to. I would say the feeling that you consider to be the feeling of lucidity is probably excitement, and the awareness is probably like presence. Now that presence is probably something like better short-term memory or something like that. Like it's all like connected to a bunch of different things, and that's never going to actually be perfect. So you need to find out at which degree you count it as being a lucid or not, or if that even matters to you, because it's obviously a sign that the thoughts of dreams and dreaming and all of that is going into your dreams. So it's a good sign no matter what. Now I wrote out something a long time ago of what you should do if your dreams are like that versus what you should do if you're always in your dreams and never think about dreaming, and which techniques you can toss in there. That was a long time ago. Is there a method to experience sleep paralysis getting on purpose? Oreo wrote out a guide. He said student debt, bad sleep schedule, um, stuff like that. Um, so, I mean, that's an easy way. I'm working on a way to do it through inside the dream. I've had it work one time, but I can never do it from outside the dream. Like, I've never had that work. You know the feeling of awareness. See, that's the thing. Like humans are self-aware, so I don't know what feeling of awareness you mean. Like that to me is a really vague thing. Now, if you mean presence, that's different. If you mean meta-awareness or critical awareness, that those are all different things, and I wouldn't even say that they come with a feeling. Presence maybe, but yeah. I remember trying to teleport out of my room to a park, but it didn't work. And after opening the door, I was greeted with the same stairs I see every day. I guess my subconscious expects that more. So remember, I said subconscious expectations of perceived reality. I should have left it up here, but I didn't because there's literally something like way over here, and I need to erase it. Oh my gosh, it's not coming off. That's going to be a problem. Um, so subconscious expectations based on your perceived reality. That's in general how I say it, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for how we're going to tackle the dream world and like the whole idea of how dream control works. We're going to actually look at 10 practical steps on how to control your dream world. So I said before I started with just incubation. Like I had this idea that I thought was pretty simple. I said, what if, because I seem to dream about things I think about, not about things I actually do, right? So I had this idea. I was like, well, I had a dream about a book I was reading, and I was friends with the guy, right? Friends with the guy in the book. It's like, because I spent so much time reading the book, my idea in my mind was like, hey, you know this person. They should show up in your dream. And so I was like, well, it seems like my dreams are based on what it sees reality as, based on my thoughts throughout the day, not based on what I actually experience. This is a lot of craziness to just say, basically, I told myself, what if my hair is nuts. I need to get a haircut. What if I pretend and I think throughout the day I can use the Force or telekinesis? And I said, I can use telekinesis. And I imagined using telekinesis. And then I went and grabbed the thing. And I said, ha, I got this with telekinesis. And it's like just this mental trickery, self-deception. And eventually, what happened 3 months later, every dream I had started having me use telekinesis in it. Now, this was before, like, I was using a dream journal, but I didn't know about lucid dreaming. I wasn't lucid in any of these. But anytime I got in any, like, tight spot or anything, I would use telekinesis. And then I added fire, and I could use fire and telekinesis. And so this was dream control that lasted longer than just one night. Um, but what happened was, this is going to sound crazy. It's going to go back to what I said before. My subconscious expectations based on my perceived reality was that I could use the Force or that I could use fire. So instead of changing my subconscious expectation inside the dream, I changed it outside of the dream. So that's one way to do it. That is one form of dream control you can do, is just think about it all day. Like, I could do this, and maybe that thought will go into a dream. Now, it took me 3 months. That's a long time. Like, a lot of people don't like things taking a long time. I've always had a long view with things like this, so 3 months to me doesn't really mean much. Now, your subconscious expects that more. Your subconscious is going to expect everything that you see and interact with every single day more. So, what are you going to do to change that, right? Um, this is why, generally, knowing that it's a dream is a great way um, to change your dream around, because that idea of knowing it's a dream says my perceived reality is that it's a dream. My subconscious expectations, based on my perceived reality, which is that it's a dream, my subconscious expectations of a dream is that I could fly. I could create a universe. I could do whatever the heck I want. I can teleport immediately. The problem is that even if you know that it's a dream, it's not that simple to just say it's your subconscious expectation, so I should subconsciously expect the dream should change. Um, so what we do is we find tricks, we find abilities, we find fun ways to get around it in order to increase our, or not increase, in order to gain controls over our subconscious reality, right? So let's look at this. I love this. It makes me happy. I apologize. I am not good at drawing in general, and whenever I draw on here, it's even worse. Alrighty. You guys may know this. It's not going to be extremely beautiful. I'm not trying to make it the most beautiful picture ever. Boop, 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 boop. Little play button there. Little square there. Let's do X, circle, square, triangle. Gives you too much information about me, I think. It's a PlayStation controller, right? So, this is one of the things I think is really cool, is I'm not trying to give you the ability to reprogram your dreaming mind. That is something that with time and effort you could probably learn how to do on your own. It's something I probably don't know enough about your mind to do. So what I'm trying to do is help you to connect controls to the idea of different dream control, right? So I say, hey, look at dreams this way. And if you perceive dreams this way, then you can use this control. And if you use this control, then all of a sudden we're able to actually like get somewhere, right? Teleporting, specifically teleporting to a specific place, I would say it's almost two different dream controls at once. It's a really good dream control. I spent hundreds of lucid dreams just doing teleporting over and over and over because I said, like, if the one thing that could prove the most that I reject like the current reality that I'm in would be teleporting, because I'm like, I don't even, this isn't my place. I'm going somewhere else completely. I'm going to a different dream, or a different dream, because obviously it's the same dream anyways. And so I would just teleport. I would teleport like 10 times every single dream. And sometimes I would fail. Even after I'd done hundreds of them, I would still fail sometimes. So it's another problem you have to come to terms with, is as much as I'm trying to give you a controller, and I say press X and this may happen, this may still happen. Even after you've pressed X and it happened 20 times, it may not happen sometimes. And I think that's something people don't like to see. Now, if you have a dream, that's similar to a past dream, and in the past dream you're able to use a control, it is more likely that you're going to be able to use that control again. Now, some people, these people that are naturally good with dream control, like Mizik, I think, I'm pretty sure. I know she's good at dream control, but I don't know if she's naturally good or if she learned it. Basically, all of her dreams and all of it breaks down into one control. Whoop. This and one button. She can move her person around and she pushes that button. Now, she can do more control, but that button is, this is a dream, so I can do anything. Right? And that works for some people. And a lot of people like that are really good with dream control. They say, this is a dream, so I can do that. This is a dream, so I push the button that this is a dream, and I can do whatever I want. And I think it's a really good thing to have. I went to that point at some point, and then I went away from it because I didn't really enjoy it as much as I enjoyed having a full controller with a bunch of different buttons that can do different types of control that I find more fun. You use that, right? So that's what you're trying to use, but you said before, this is a dream, so I'll teleport to that, and it didn't work. So what do you do when a dream control doesn't work? As I like to try it again, but in a different way. Um, so let's see. I need a cool example. Now, it works pretty good. Yeah, it works for some people. And so that's another problem, is like, if that works for you, I mean, it may not be the most fun control, but you don't really need me. You can do any dream control, or dream, not control, dream goal you want to, right? You want to go kill Hitler, you click a button, and now all of a sudden you're next to Hitler, right? And I don't mean click a button. The button is literally just thinking, this is a dream, so therefore I can do X. And you don't even have to think it like that coherently. It's just, oh, because it's a dream, you know that you're in control of everything and you do everything that you want. Now, I don't like that version of dreams. I like a more fun and complicated version because it's more fun and complicated. Just like I don't like the video game where I have already level 100 and I've got all the Pokemon already, right? I've got all my Pokemon level 100 and I've got them all. Like, that's not a game anymore to me. That's somebody else beat this game before me. So, we're going to look at a control. Now, I'm going to say this is going to be most people are going to like this control, right? Now, this is the easiest control and one that people do all the time in non-lucid dreams, if you count control like this, right? So let's say you're in your room, and there's a door right here, and your hallway is right here. A lot of people have hallways outside their doors, right? There's a hallway right there, and this door is closed, right? And they say, they're right here, weep, and they say to themselves, I'm not going to write out the whole thing, I'm going to go into my hallway, and I'm going to go to my kitchen, right? Or I'm going to go to my hallway, and I'm going to go to my house. And so they open this door, and lo and behold, this hallway's there. And you guys are like, that's not dream control. That hallway was there before. The hallway was there before you perceived it inside of a dream? No, it was not. Your perception of the hallway being outside of your room is just your own mind. That's how it works. So you're like, well, Sensei, this isn't really what I want. I don't want to get to the same hallway that's outside of my room. I want to have fun, right? So I want to, I want to go to an alien world. I want to go to, I don't know what all you guys want to do. I don't know what your dream goals are. If you guys want to write your dream goals out, I can use them as examples. Um, so what I like to do is I like to focus in on one thing, right? So the first thing I do whenever I'm in a dream, if I really want to get a dream goal down, is I will focus myself in the present. Level up, use items, train, oldies stuff, shakes cane angrily. Right. Yes. Those are good dream goals. So if you were like, I want, let's see, I want. Oh, this is actually boom. It's right here. I don't even need to draw a picture. Um, you say I want to go to Spirited Away. You guys seen Spirited Away? Go to a forest. Right. Go to a forest. Something like that. That's really good. Now, an easy, super wonderful, simple thing you can use is your phone. I can't show you my phone because I am recording with it right now. So what you can do is you can literally just go to your phone, type in forest, see the forest, right? See the forest, and then teleport there. Now, if you're wanting to teleport, now you can already see it, right? So before you said it was hard because you're trying to open a door, and behind the door you had no idea what was behind that door. You thought that what was behind the door was what was there before because you didn't have an indication. Now, what I would like to do, if I were you, is something smaller, a smaller dream control to start. Something like using your phone. Or if I wanted a forest behind a door, I would imagine vines growing out from under the door. And I might even, I can't show you right now, like let's say that this is a door, right? And I whoop, look down there. What I would do is I would be like, I would cover that part with my hand, right? Cover that part with my hand and say there were vines underneath it. And I would move my hand again, and there would be vines that were growing. I love to do that, where I just cover something and say what used to be there, or what I thought used to be there, even though it wasn't. Now, if I am focusing so much on the past, I have a problem. I need to be focused on the present for this specific type of dream control. Now, if I want to go to Spirited Away, I can go down my stairs, walk right up here, check out this picture, and then walk really, really, really close to it so that all I can see is that picture. And then stop thinking about where I'm at, stop thinking about what I'm doing, and just focus on the picture. And when I do that, my mind will say, hey, I'm already there. I already teleported. I don't have to worry about teleporting because it's already done. And at some point, it'll feel like I'm there. That's, in my mind, a really easy way to teleport. Another easy way, and this is just something stupid. Now, if you can do a pocket summon, and be like, I mean, you can just mess with things and be like, oh, this whiteboard is a door. And so behind it, where's my marker? My black marker. There it is. And behind it is a forest. And you're like, sweet, I write the word forest right here. Look, because it says forest, there's a forest behind it. And you pull down the whiteboard, and behind it there's a forest. Because obviously there is, because there's a sign that says there's a forest. You can even say, forest here. Right? These are just super practical ways of just stupid, like, if you've ever read something like Hitchhiker's Guide or something like that, it's, or even if you just examine the magic system of any video game, movie, anime, anything like that, you're going to see that there's super huge flaws in all the reasoning. Yeah, exactly. Right? Obviously there was a sign that said there would be. So what you have to do is you have to learn to just accept a different perceived reality, right? And so you say in your mind, you're like, well, obviously there's not a forest behind the whiteboard because, like, I can come up with a billion reasons as to why there's not a forest behind this whiteboard, right? Holy frick. Imagine if I pulled this down, there was a huge picture of like a forest or an actual forest. Y'all would flip out. Um, so, um, what I'm saying is, your imagined reality, for some reason, you think that behind this whiteboard is another wall, right? Now, since it's real life, there is one. But in a dream, why would there be one there? Why would there be a wall there? Why would a wall make more sense than a forest? Especially if there's a sign that says there's a forest here. Um, Another thing you can do is, and this is one of the ones that I would say it almost requires zero dream control, depending on how you define dream control. Some people say dream control is only like, there's a certain, I like to use a certain energy in dreams, and it feels like it's flowing out of me, and I can change things around when I'm using that. But this dream control that I'm talking about, it changes my reality so much and so effectively without even seeming to change it, which is just go ask a dream character, right? Just be like, hey, can you show me where a forest's at? And then they'll walk you over to a forest. And it's great. That being said, some dream characters won't take you to a forest. Not everything works first time, not everything works all the time. or ever even. It just may not be the thing for you. Um, if you can do another dream control, that's another thing, is you can stack dream controls, right? If you do a pocket summon for a phone and call somebody that you know that would know where a forest is at, call them. Call me, like open up Discord. Call me and say, hey, can you teleport me to a forest? I'll be like, hex, yeah, I will. You can, what's the other thing? You can just call out, just be like, hey, or even better, you can pull out a map out of your pocket, and that map should have a "You are here" sign, and it would show you how to get to a forest, right? Or you can even just pull it up on your phone, type in forest, and fly there. There's a million ways to get around the dream world, infinite ways probably. So this is my this is my idea with dream control is you have to be able to think about the dream control and ignore all of the other logical things in the world that exist, right? Because why would I, like, you could say, why would I be able to pocket summon a phone? Why would I be able to pocket summon a map? And so what I like to do is something really dumb, which is just visualize and pretend that that visualization was a memory. And so then what I say is, I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember putting a pen in my pocket. Oh yeah, I remember putting my phone in my pocket. That one's easy because I have a million memories of me putting my phone in my pocket. Oh yeah, I remember putting this map in my pocket. And then I'll pull it out. And that's actually whenever I was really struggling to fly, but I could pocket summon and I could use telekinesis. So I always recommend using other dream control to fix the dream control that you couldn't have. So since I could telekinesis, I would fly a car into the sky and then jump out of the car. And when I was falling, I could usually fly. Usually, not every time. But that was whenever everyone kept telling me over and over that dream control rests on belief. And so I was like, well, I believe I can fly in dreams. I've flown in dreams. I kept doing it, and I could fly in one dream and then not the next. Um, so then I would fly in dreams, and then one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the super convoluted dream control. And I've explained it before, but I love it. I realized it was a dream, and I looked in the mirror, and I had a bunch of like facial hair, which I didn't at the time. And so then I thought that was hilarious. I laughed. I went outside, and I was like, haha, it's time for my dream goal. My dream goal was super convoluted, and I was like, I'm going to pocket summon a Red Bull. Why would I pocket summon a Red Bull? Because Red Bull gives you wings. So I reach in my pocket, and there's no Red Bull. And I was like, that's okay, because I had this memory that I'd been working on for a while. And this memory was, if I reach in my pocket and it's not there, I just think, oh yeah, I put it in my back pocket. So then I reached in my back pocket, and there was a Red Bull, and it was about this big. And I cracked it open, I drank it, it tasted amazing, and Red Bull doesn't even taste great. I drank it, and when I looked down, I was 40 feet in the air already. So it's like this super convoluted, crazy idea that I came up in waking life that doesn't make any sense. It just works on like a brand slogan and a fake memory that I created while I was awake, right? But it worked in a dream because I accepted that perceived reality while I was there. So, yeah. Does anybody have any questions before I move on to the next part? What's up, DJ? I don't know why you're always on Chimpertainment instead of your channel. You're supposed to be on here advertising, man. Just like spamming links to your videos. Oh, all right. About fake memories, I sometimes think that certain memories are true, but those memories are from old dreams. Right. Unless you have a dream journal, it's possible to know. It's impossible to really tell what memories came from fake memories, which ones came from dreams, which ones came from just actual really like happened. I had a dream all my life that I thought was real, and then when I examined it, I realized it made absolutely no sense. All right, I guess that makes sense. Just remember your old dreams vaguely. Yeah, I had a bunch of really non-vague dreams growing up. A couple of nightmares, but then my mom told me to wake me from them, so myself from them. So when I did that, I stopped having nightmares, which was, it wasn't. It's not quite that I'm dreaming I should wake myself up. It was just I'm scared to death. This is the feeling that my parent, like I remembered before, and I woke myself up. Oh, it's the opposite for me. I feel like some memories are from other dreams. They're all made up. Right. That's one thing a dream character did to me one time, which was she put a bunch of memories in my mind of dreams that I had from when I was a kid, mixed with dreams of memories that I had when I was a kid. And she connected all of them to my world building. And I have this whole past of what happened when I was a kid in dreams, and it never happened. And I can remember before I remembered it. And it makes more sense before I remembered it, but it still makes pretty good sense after. Like, my memory right now is basically flawed from my dreams from before I was 20. Except for the dreams that I wrote down, which was actually most of them, which is super nice. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk about two kinds of dream control. Now, the good thing to remember is that these categories are made up and don't exist. Right? Um, you can say they exist. I can give you a great reason that they exist, but they don't. They are made up. Passive and active. And even so, half the things I can't even put in one category or the other. Oh, crap, mothers. I went too far. Turn a little bit. Turn. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Sup, elemental. All right, so passive versus active. Now, I say these dream categories don't exist, but we're going to use them because I can pretend that they exist inside a dream. I can grab a dream item, like a gun, and I can shoot it and say, ha, that is hilarious. My son just pointed a water gun at me. It's empty, but that is some crazy. All right, I'm pretty sure I'm in a dream now. Like, that's crazy. So, like, I use a gun and I shoot people. Bloop, bloop, bloop. That's passive, right? Like, that's just using a dream item, but it's a real item from the dream. Now, what if I use a laser gun? Is that active? Or what if I take a rubber band gun and I shoot it? Is that now active if it acts like a real gun? So that's why I would say these categories don't exist, but we're going to pretend like they do because it's fun to pretend like they do. Because when you give fake limits to things, limits that don't exist, you have more possibilities. And by more, I don't mean like more like actual possibilities, because if there's no limits, there's infinite possibilities, and no possibility is more likely or possible or meaningful than another. If I give you limits, then more possibilities that actually happen, more possibilities that actually like matter are going to happen. So if I give you active versus passive, you can assign things to a very passive thing. But if I give you something like active, you can assign this to an active thing, and you can separate this into this, and it can make your dream control life easier and maybe do more of what you want because it's in a category that doesn't exist. I would define passive as obliging to the constraints you assume sourced from reality. Woo! That is some words right there. It reminds me of subconscious expectations of my perceived reality. It's very similar, right? Unless you're talking about specifically from waking reality, in which case I would say if I am on a spaceship and the what are they called in Halo? The Horde? No, the Flood, and the Flood is coming after me, right? And I have a laser gun and I'm shooting it in a non-lucid dream. I would say that's all passive control, right? So what reality is it pulling from? It's pulling from not a real reality. It's pulling from Halo reality. But I would still say that's all passive control. Now, we could actually even make the argument that all control is passive, but then these things don't even matter anymore. So I consider passive to be things like items, area of effect, or Age of Empires. Area of effect things, like if I'm in a mall and things inside that mall, um, and things inside that mall um, will act and similar to things inside of a mall. If I'm inside my house, things inside the house are generally going to act like things inside the house. Now, they're not always going to, and if I am like in my house and I turn a TV on, that's passive control, right? A TV is acting like a TV. If I see a TV and I click the button and I'm like, as soon as I click this button, the TV is going to explode. It blows up. That's more active control. And you're saying what you think is reality in your dream, right? So this goes into a struggling, like really struggling to define reality because in reality, you're in a dream and you can do whatever you want. So then all control would end up being passive because it would fall under your definition. So I'd struggle with that definition. But again, these definitions are made up. So like I'm still making up like these ideas of passive and active. Um, let's see what else. Dream characters, right? Asking like call me, have me come up. That's a passive, right? Call call freaking Batman. Have him do things for you. Have him spend money on you. Have call up Superman. Have him fly you around. Call up Doctor Strange and have him sail you around different realities. These are all options. Um, before we move on, I'm going to have to change something real fast. I will still have voice, but I'm going to be off for a second. So if everything can't really be summed up between passive and active, what's the point of sending these like into two different things? And I would say the point is that I can create things and pretend that they are passive and they'll act passive according to my definition of passive, which would be like an item. So I love to use items. I love to use area of effect or things like persistent realms. I love to use dream characters and treat them, and they stay in their lane, basically. They do what I tell them to. I hope you guys can still hear me. Um, video's booting back up. I just had to turn the alarm off that goes off at 2 o'clock. So, active dream control. This again goes back to, hey, I'm back. This again goes back to, oh no. There we go. All right, we're good. This goes back to what I like actions I do affect things. Like if I just fly, right? That's probably going to be active. Now I could make a term for it's you're perceiving it as the world around you is a dream, so it's active. But you have to almost break the rules of reality to fly, right? Because in general, in most worlds that you're going to be at, flying is not going to be a normal thing. Now, in your dream world, it may be, but just to get an idea of it, you want to do something like fly, telekinesis. Oh, let's just write TK. Telekinesis, pyrokinesis, um, I don't know, stopping time. Now I can pull out ways for these all to be passive if I want to, right? I could grab a flamethrower and now I have pyrokinesis. But in general, whenever I use these are going to be active. These are going to be things I'm going to have to actually think about and say, ha, because this is a dream, I'm going to do this. And so I think this is a good way to look at things for a little while. Like when you first start out, look at things like this, passive versus active, and you want to get some passive abilities because they're really fun, right? I recommend if you have false awakenings, put an item or ask a dream character to put an item or something inside your room. And that item will be in your dream room. Now, don't make it obvious where it's at. Like, don't make it like on the ceiling. Because if you make it on the ceiling, then as soon as you wake up and you don't see it there, that's going to be a problem. So what you want to do is give it a little bit of time to adjust to what you think. You're like, ha, I put this item in my room, in my dresser drawer. And so then, as you're going to your dresser drawer, it gives your mind, I wouldn't say time to adjust, but it does seem to like it needs a little bit of time to adjust sometimes. This idea that like, hey, I'm in a dream and I put this thing in my dresser drawer and it should be there. So then you open it up and on the list of things, yeah, I'd like 20, 25 minutes left. On the list of things that should be in there, that item should be in there. I've got a teleporter in my hallway, right? I had one in my office in the last house, and I had one in the hallway in the house before that, right? I put a teleporter there because it's a super passive way to teleport. And sometimes in dreams, I really struggle with active control. I struggle with the ability of denying the reality that I'm in, right? I struggle with this. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, like reality feels like too intense. It feels like it's too hard for me to break with just my mind. So what I do is I just deal with these passive controls. Now, I could try to come up with a way for them to be active, right? Now, I'd say that, but telekinesis and pyrokinesis never struggled with ever because of my incubation in the past. flying, even sometimes I will still fail to fly, and so I'm like, so then I have to go around this whole mental gymnastics, and then I can fly, and then I can fly for the rest of the dream or the night, depending on what I'm doing that day, or even generally longer than that. But yeah, that's how it works. So passive versus active is a way to separate it, but obviously it's not the amazing, wonderful way. So that's one way to separate your dream control, so that you can learn how to do it. Hey, Uriah, stay out of here. If you come in here, I'm going to be putting you back in your room, okay?
What are you talking about?
I'm just talking to some people online.
Oh, right. Sorry, Dad.
You're okay. So, now, let's talk about another fun idea, because that one's a little, I don't know, it's just eh. It's just eh. Um, this is an idea I call, it's the stupidest form of dream control I know, and I love it so much. Oh, gosh. I'm just writing further and further that way. Let's put this here, so I know. Okay. So on this side, I will put something stupid like, let's see, I want to fly. Oh, wait. My overarching goal here is to fly, right? So let's say I want to fly really badly. So in a dream, whenever I'm like, hey, I really want to fly, instead of saying I really, really want to fly, I will say, I want to, let's see, what would it be? Yeah, let's just say break through the ground. Oh gosh, my writing is getting worse. Break through the G. Okay? Break through the ground. And over here is fly. This is what I'm trying to do, right? Is trying to break through the ground. Now my ultimate goal is actually to fly. So what I do is I put this thing and I'm like, if I break through the ground, right? Underneath the ground, there's nothing and I can just jump out and fly. So my goal of flying is right here. So if I succeed, I will fly. But as soon as I stomp on the ground, I'm like, I'm worried. So I try to put this like little fake thing in my head where I'm like, I'm worried that if I try to stomp on the ground, I'll go flying into the air. So I stomp on the ground and I accidentally go flying into the air. And look what I did. Hey, stay out of here. I'm going to lock you in your room.
No.
It's nap time and you know it, man. I'm letting you out.
What?
I'm letting you out because you're being nice and quiet. If you're not going to be nice and quiet, then you're going to have to go back to your room, okay?
I am being nice and quiet.
Arrow is being nice and quiet. You need to go play, okay?
No. Dad, remember you put me in the nap and I
I
got out of my nap.
I know you got out of your nap. You did not sleep. Go play.
Wait, what goes to
Sorry, guys.
playroom? What goes to playroom?
What's up?
What goes to playroom?
Yeah, you can play in the playroom.
So what color is it?
Uh, I'll answer that later, okay? Go play. Goodbye. All right. So I have created a scenario where if I succeed, I go flying, and if I fail, I go flying. This is what I consider like a really contrived and ridiculous form of dream control, but super fun to do. Because then no matter what I'm doing, I'm going to end up flying, right? And especially if it's something I really want to do the first time. Um, yeah. Hey, sometimes you gotta lock the door for the kids' rooms if they're not gonna. Don't touch that.
So what color is it?
It's white.
Oh, oh.
All right. I'm gonna actually gonna put this guy back in his nap. I will be back in probably 1 minute.
I don't want to go to my nap.
Um,
I want to
if you
go
guys have
to
questions,
nap.
write
I
them
want
now
to
so that
go
I'll have them
to
when I get
nap,
back.
Dad. I want to go to nap. I want to go
I hope I muted the right person there. I am back. So, usually he sleeps at this time, but he's stopped doing that recently. So, I'm back. I don't have a name for this control. I don't know what to call it. Like failing my way to success, something like that. Don't know, but it's fun. I actually use it for wild sometimes because I have this idea that I'd really like to listen to an audiobook all day or all night, right? So I'm just going to listen to my audiobook. And if I fail at wilding, I'll just lay there and listen to my audiobook. And if I succeed, I'll fall asleep. That's just because I have insomnia sometimes. Um, it helps with wild, helps with insomnia at times. It's just this idea that there's two options and they're both good, or they're both, at least I get what I want with either of them, which I think is super important. Hmm. All right. So next dream control. Um, so I came up with this idea a long time ago. That fell on me. You guys saw that coming and you didn't say anything. Seriously, I guess I'm gonna have to use the red one. I don't know where I put the black one. Oh, there it is. Super far away. All right. This dream control is, what is it called? Oh yeah, teleporting. Boom. This is what I would say like a, what do you call that? It's a stupid way of looking at the world, which is perfect for dream control, right? It's great. It's like, oh man, there's a word for it, where you break something down in a way that doesn't make any sense. It's like whenever you say, oh, I don't like that movie. It's a stupid movie because, um, like the lights are too bright. And so you look at like one small stupid part of the movie, and you focus only on that. So and you're like, oh, well, I don't like it because of that. And there's like a million things to love about the movie. Um, but in a dream, we're gonna focus on one stupid thing. We're gonna say teleporting. Now, if you learn the skill teleporting, you can learn all the skills in the world, right? Now you don't. I can tell you guys don't agree with me. Okay, so I'm gonna say there's two types of teleporting. There's a teleporting where you move or the world moves, right? Nitpicking, right? Yeah, nitpicking. It's like a, I can't remember the name of it. Nitpicking is one word. Is one way to say it. Yeah, it's being super nitpicky, right? So if I say I teleport, right? And I think I got this idea from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Um, basically, if I can teleport, if I'm the master of teleporting, so like I just learned this one skill, which is teleporting, I can change every single thing in my dream world. Explain something to me that I can't change in my dream world with teleporting. Like you can try. While I'm doing that, I will list some things I can try. I can change where I'm at. That's on both, obviously. Um, now, if I go and I go through a door, and on the other side of that door is wherever I want, then that means the world changed, right? I just moved from one, like I'm in this room, there's a door here, I go out here, and there's my forest. Yay! Right? So I go there, and there's the forest. The world seemed to change while I actually stayed relatively normal. There was actually, um, can I reverse gravity using this? 100% I can. I can 100% use it with that. Glad you chose that. It's a really super fun one actually. So so I go to a forest, right? So I didn't move, like right. I existed here. This place here changed, so the world changed around me, right? And I just like walked through there. I didn't change where I was except for through walking, right? That's a normal way to get through things. The other option is like I'm standing here. Can you guys see that? You can indeed. I'm standing here. Super great. This I close my eyes and bam, I'm over here in a forest, right? So in this version, I moved. In all truth, guess what? The truth is you're laying in your bed in a dream, but this is how you're going to perceive the reality happening. So these are two different types of teleporting, me moving or the world moving. Now, can I use, can I reverse gravity with this? 100%. Easiest way, easiest way is to teleport to a place where gravity is reversed, right? Super simple. Just, I'm going to go to this place. It looks exactly like this. I will open this door, and behind this door is a room exactly like this one, but gravity is backwards. Super easy. You can even just blink, and all of a sudden, I teleported to a place where gravity is backwards. And you have all of these things you can do. You can even, like, right, the truth is there is no spoon. Right, that is the truth behind all of this. Is while I say all the things are teleporting, and yay, teleporting, blah, 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 the truth is teleporting doesn't exist because I am laying in my bed asleep. But then when you get down to the nitty gritty of it and you get better, oh my gosh, this is just getting worse. And you get better and better at teleporting, and you have this ability. So there's different forms of abilities. Like, so if I have an ability, sometimes I'll have an ability that I can do in some dreams. Like if I'm aware enough or if I'm present enough, I can do this ability. Other times, I can do an ability in any dream ever. I can use telekinesis, I can use flying, and I can actually use teleporting, and I can use pyrokinesis. There's a few different ones that no matter where I'm at, I can use this. Because I've trained those abilities so that in hundreds of different situations, maybe even thousands, I have used those abilities. So I know how to use them no matter where I'm at. They feel second nature to me. When I'm alive, when I'm walking around in my house, it freaks me out sometimes that I can't use telekinesis or pyrokinesis or teleport because that's how ingrained in my head those are. So I don't know why I did this. I'm not doing a list for these. Um, so you can change where you're at. You can change where the world is at, right? So you can teleport yourself to a different place, or you can go to a place in the world where gravity is reversed, or you can um, change the world as you are and say, I'm teleporting right now to the place that's right here. It's this thing. I'm changing where I'm at, and the whole world's going to change. Now, is this true? No, it's not true because none of these are actually true, but it can work and it can help, which is super great. So I like teleporting. I find it really helpful for any dream goal. So some dream goals are going to be more useful than others, right? If I can pocket summon, then I can use that as a method for anything I want, right? I can use it as a method for all sorts of things. If I can teleport, it's even easier. If I can use telekinesis, it's kind of helpful, right? Different things, they give you a key to unlocking like more dream abilities. They give you an ability that is useful in some situations and many situations, and this only works if there's limited possibilities. Now, most dream goals are things like go to a forest. Can teleporting help me go to a forest? Yes. Can telekinesis? Kind of. Like, it depends on how good you are. I could telekinesis the whole thing to me. So I find teleporting to be a super useful skill, and you can use it to control everything. Um, Another example, like let's say, I want to meet somebody, I teleport there. Or I teleport and I change the entire world around me. Now, you don't always need to teleport. You can also pretend that you've teleported, which is fun as heck. So one time, I went to a place. Now, this is something I would call, it's not teleporting, but it is, and it isn't. It's great. I went to a school, right? I realized I was dreaming. I was in a school, and the school had a banner, and it said, what was it? The first one was like School of the Arts, right? And I was like looking around. There's art stuff everywhere, right? There's all sorts of nerds walking around, super artsy. They're all dressed like super artsy. Like it's almost like a parody of how artsy they are. It looks like an 80s movie of what an art school would look like. And then I look at that banner and I'm like, you know what? I can't change everything, but I can change this banner. And so what I did was, so we got this little banner up here. Let's erase this. We got this banner up here. And so instead of saying art school, bloop, I put my hand over it, right? So I can't see it. And I was like, what did that banner say again? And I changed it in my head. And I said, oh yeah, it said music school, right? So I covered it. I can blank it out for a second there. Just boop. And I'm like, oh yeah, it said music school. Oh, it says music school now. And I'm focusing on that. And I'm like, oh, what does music school look like? And I look around, and everyone went from having normal artsy stuff, and there were some musicians at the art school, but now everyone has music stuff. Everyone has got guitars and violins and little like pianos that they're carrying around, like all sorts of insane stuff. And there's people singing. There's people like all sorts of insane stuff. Mizik, you missed everything. I did actual dream control on the stream for you to see, and you missed it. And I'm not going to upload it for you to see later because that would be too special. And then I covered my hand up. I covered my hand over it, and I said, "Oh yeah, this is a army school." And I released it, and there was a lot of army men walking around. Yeah, actually, I don't remember if there were bagpipes. I've heard bagpipes in a dream 2 or 3 times, but I don't think that was one of them. So I cover my hand up. So what you got to remember is I mentioned before that dream control is like it's generally connected to your subconscious expectations of your perceived reality, right? So instead of trying to perceive this whole reality of a school and all of these things, all I say is I say, there is a banner right here. And I cover it up. So all I can really see is my hand, right? Most of my vision's on my hand. And when I cover it up, I say, oh yeah, it said music school. Now I'm not focusing on all of these things. And while I'm focusing on this, these things will change when I look back and I say, ah, it says music school. And then whenever I start looking around again, it becomes music school. Then I do the same thing. Now I can do that with a door. Now I've ran into doors that don't have handles, right? So what I used to do was I would, you know, walk to a door and I want to get behind it. Door doesn't have a handle, right? I'm like, ah, right? So then I put my hand over there. I'm like, oh yeah, it had a handle. Open the door. Just these small things that can help you to get around the dream world a little easier, changing these small ideas. And they're all based on your perception, right? Because if I put my hand over there and there's a dream character like right here, he can see that, right? And the world would just change for him because he doesn't exist. He's also just a part of my perceived reality. So I really like the hand method to just cover things up. Super fun. Um, just cover it up, lie to yourself about what you were saying 2 seconds ago, and then uncover it, and you're like, what the frick? And now, here's my question to you. Is that passive or is that active? Right? Is it a passive control where I pretend like I saw something different, or is that an active control? I would say active, but others might say it differently. Another off-topic question. Does blue light, using the phone, or watching TV and stuff influence your dream quality in any bad way except being less tired, or is that just some other BS ELD made up? BS ELD. I want that channel. Oh, wait, we have the channel. We have the channel. It's ELDBS. So, um, I cannot say. I haven't seen any studies that say otherwise. I do know that it makes it a lot harder to fall asleep. It seems to change around your REM and your NREM a little bit. I cannot say whether or not it gives you less vivid dreams. I have always had vivid dreams, and I've always stayed up too late reading books. I've always stayed up too late on my phone, on my computer, doing stuff like that. Now, I've also always had insomnia, and even whenever I take that stuff away for months or even a year, it doesn't seem to change it much. I always have insomnia. My insomnia seems to be created by something else, so it's really annoying to not do electronics before bed so I can sleep better and not sleep better. So, um, that being said, I do think insomnia is kind of like buoyancy, though that's for a different stream. Oh, frick, it actually works really well for buoyancy. Anyways, so I would just say, unless it stops you from sleeping, I wouldn't worry about it. Or you can just try it, right? Stop using electronics for a week and see if it helps your dream quality. Or, I mean, that's one way, but that affects your waking life a lot. And the more things that affect your waking life a lot that don't affect your dreams directly, intensely, the harder it's going to be to continue lucid dreaming because you're going to have this idea that you need to do 4,000 things in order to lucid dream, when that's just not how I see it being. Electronics are super good for dream control. We talked about a little bit of that already. Um, I mean, closing your eyes, like, I mean, how to fly. I actually gave an example on how to fly. Um, I said that what you can do is try to break through the ground. And if you fail to break through the ground, then what you should be worried about when you're breaking through the ground is that as you're stomping on the ground, you're going to accidentally fly off. But what you're trying to do is break through the ground so you can fly in the sky that's underneath the ground. So that way, you fly either way. It was explained better earlier. You should have been here earlier, Mizik. Passive or active, you guys both say different things for whether or not that would be passive or active. That's funny. I don't know which one it would be. It's a thing I call perception control. Actually, one of my fun ways of doing that. And in fact, I did this last time I was in a time dilated realm because I didn't know if I could change, if I could use active control in a time dilated realm. And I didn't want to because I was a little worried of the dream characters there because they were a little upset, and I was a little worried I would just upset the balance. So I tried a control. Now, what I did was I saw two trees that were roughly the same color, right? This is my idea of what a tree looks like. Sorry. We'll just tree stuff, tree stuff, trees. Yay. Right? So I saw these trees. And I closed one eye because I had this idea. I don't have binocular vision in dreams, but I pretended like I did. And so I went from viewing them like right here and viewing them to over here. And when I did that, the two trees now looked like this, right? Ooh, fluffy. They look like one big tree. And so I said, wow, that's a really cool big tree. And then when I moved back to the other place, it still looked like one giant tree because I wasn't focusing on the base where I could easily tell. That is funny, music. It's a good point. I should have done some more art school. Honestly, my music is worse than my art, so that's a big problem. I don't do music. So that's what I call perception control. I can change my perception slightly just by point of view, right? You can do it mentally as well. Make things that are connected mentally, even though they're not actually connected. And whenever you think of them as connected, they seem connected. I'm getting off in the weeds, though, and getting more into theory for dream control rather than actual dream control. So, more practical dream control. I went through all the ones that I'd pre-planned, like passive versus active, teleporting, and things like that. What is that? Let's go ahead and yeah. So I think I'm pretty much done with all the things I want to talk about. This live stream was a lot more streamlined. But yeah, if there's any questions, I'll be around for a couple more minutes. Otherwise, I'll talk about a few more fun dream controls I did. Oh, I did a fun dream control today, actually. I had a scooter, little scooter, um, and I took the metal of the bottom of it and I flattened it out so I could sit down. And then I took off the top part and I sat down, and um, I remembered that there was a motor on the bottom, and I sat down and and it just went going, and it was taking me to the place that I wanted to go, and I didn't even need to steer it or anything. How does active or passive control work with making a PR? Exactly. See, that was actually the main point of my active and passive control is that it's so fuzzy and it only works like on specific dream controls that you want to do. Is that um, I'd say for most people, technically, all control done inside of a persistent realm would be passive, depending on your definition of passive and active or your definition of dream control. So I would say dream control, creating a dream or persistent realm is probably going to be active, but it can be passive. And control inside of a persistent realm is generally going to be passive. But again, these are labels that we give to dreams and to dream control in order to understand it, even though the labels fall apart when you look at them, because it all, in the end, is just a deception that you accept. Now, you can accept the deception of the label, passive, and you can say, oh, this is a passive dream control. Oh, I don't need to worry about projectiles because I have a badge on that protects me from projectiles. It's a passive control, and it's just going to stay there, and it's going to be great. All these things like that. They're great. They're super, super helpful for anything you want. Now, this is all depending on, like, what do you want to do with your dreams? Now, if you want to go to a forest, you don't need to worry about um, things like that. You just need to worry about how to maneuver around the dream world, which things like teleporting, super helpful. Things like calling people up, super helpful. Things like using your phone, pulling up a picture, or using a GPS or map, something like that, super helpful. Or like I said, using small amounts of dream control. Now I guess that was one I did not go in on very much was I recommend using the small amounts of dream control that you can use and using it for bigger dream control. For instance, like I mentioned, imagining vines growing up from behind a door. And then all of a sudden, the fact that there's a forest behind that door makes a lot more sense. And it's going to be something where you're like, I feel like I didn't even do that dream control, but it happened. And it was what I wanted. So I really like that. I really like that one. And of course, if you're struggling to make vines appear, then just freaking cover it up with your hand and then say, oh yeah, there were vines growing there. Like I saw one, and you can just imagine like a little green one growing up, and then whenever you pull it up, it's like the vines are just growing. Um, you know, it's cool stuff. I like it. Of course, I also mentioned the idea of pocket summoning. Super easy, super special way to just literally pocket summon a marker and label things what you want them to be labeled. Go grab a frog and label it a dog and watch it bark around and chase cars. Like, it's fun stuff. The dreams are just a wonderful playground for really, really stupid ideas to come together for fun. It's great. It's perfect playground for people that want to, have creative ideas or just have fun time. Um, yeah, I've used markers way too many times in dreams. I have more trouble finding markers here than I do in the dream. So, Froggo, yes, exactly. Watch Froggo become a doggo. Can you write on the dream itself? Of course you can, Mizik. You know this. I don't know actually if you're saying like on the concept of a dream or if you can just be like, which I love that idea, and I feel like it's crazy that I've never done that. I've definitely written some words in the sky, but they weren't like on the dream in my head. They were actually like on the sky. Um, the first time I did that was I put a little like I imagined a circle because I was struggling to get the Sword Art Online menu, so I imagined a circle, like, and I saw like, and I put a little circle, and then I tapped it and slid down, and then I had the Sword Art Online menu. Can I become a dog using teleportation? Yes. Now, this is where it gets a little iffy on what we're talking about. Now, I could say you could teleport to Yzma's lab and take a thing there that would make you a dog. Or you could teleport to a world where you are a dog. Um, that's just the way it goes. You could teleport to a place that as soon as you teleport there, you become a dog. You transform into one. It's part of the teleportation. You teleport to a door that as soon as you pass through it, it goes to that teleport into a dog body, like Mizik says, right? So that's another problem is, oh man, that is a full thing. I guess I've got at least 5 more minutes because I have to talk about this. In your mind, right now, probably, if you're asking if you can become a dog using teleportation, you're probably trying to stump me a little bit. In your mind, you have this body in your dream, and you're like, this is me, and I'm doing dream things. It's like, no, 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 no. This is you. Little viewpoint, right? Just what you see. I'm looking out. The dream body, the dream world, everything that you're perceiving doesn't exist, including your whole dream body. So you teleporting and keeping the dream body or not keeping the dream body is like fully up to you. Um, so yes, you can teleport into a dog because you teleport and you're like, haha, and you're like on the grass and you're like, what is going on? And then you're in the dog's body. It's that idea that I am not my dream body. Now, I am a crazy person, and I listened to my dream teacher who told me, hey, you know what you should do? You need to come to terms with the fact that this is not your dream body. And since you're a person that doesn't like the idea of mutilation in real life, you don't do anything that's going to hurt your body for long periods of time, I want you to cut off your arm in a dream. And I was like, cool, I'm going to do that. So I took a saw and pop, took my arm off in a dream because it's not my arm, because it doesn't matter. Yes, when you transform into an animal, can you really feel like that animal? Do four legs and tail feel natural? Yes, they do. Whenever I first transformed, it was on accident. I was just running, and it started feeling more natural to run on four legs. And then I realized I was basically a dog, but I still had hands. And then as I spent more and more time in dreams transforming, I started turning more and more into a dog. And now I may spend nights going on an adventure with like an entire pack of dogs, and we'll go hunting. And in the dream, I don't even know it's a dream anymore. I am just thinking dog thoughts, or what I guess my perceived reality, my imagined dog thoughts. Very good idea. Did it hurt? Yes, it did hurt. But this was also, I had a sub goal to increase my pain tolerance in dreams. So this was not the only thing I did in dreams. I jumped in front of cars. I jumped off of trains. I, man, what all did I do? I broke my back. I did a lot of things. It was a lot of things. I have to try if you can see colors that don't exist IRL. Now this is something I don't even. This is a hard to explain one because it gets into scan and into identification of dream stuff. Um, but basically, why? Why is it hard to explain? Or why did I hurt myself? Oh, to raise my pain tolerance in real life, which is good because whenever dealing with pain in real life, I don't have any issues with it. Okay, so man, this gets into theory. I'm very sorry, but you stayed here for an hour and 10 minutes. You get a little bit of theory. Now, can I see a square circle in a dream? Now, I don't know if you know Lusitania, but me and Lusitania have had this argument over and over and over all the time. Should Can I see a square circle in a dream? My answer is yes, I can dream about seeing a square circle. And people are like, no, you can't. That is logically and it's paradox. It doesn't make any sense. It's impossible. Squares and circles. A square, or not a square. A triangle. Oh, it is a square. With Lusitania, it's a square circle, not a triangle circle. We made all sorts of weird square things. Okay, square circles. Square has four sides and four edges. This bad boy doesn't, right? So you cannot see that because it does not exist. It cannot exist in any plane because these are 2D things. I can't create a third three-dimensional thing that can be both of these things. Right? That makes absolutely no sense. But guess what? Dreams are a deception. In a dream, I don't actually see anything, right? It's like, can you fly in a dream? Yeah, but like it's just a deception, and you think you're flying, but in all reality, you're laying in bed having a dream. Okay? Now, can I see a square circle in a dream? I can have a dream where I'm lucid. I know I'm in a dream. I feel like this right here. I feel like I am present, I'm making decisions, and I look over and I see an item, or not an item, a shape, and I say, wow, that shape is a square circle. And it's perfect. There's nothing wrong. Oh my goodness. That's a square circle. And then it'll make perfect sense. I could come up with reasons. It's a square circle. And when I wake up, that logic will start to unravel. Just like the logic of, oh, I was just flying because I wasn't really flying. So yes, you can see a square circle in a dream. Now, is it going to hold up when I try to draw it on a 3D plane when I'm awake? No. Not actually flying, reality shifters would like to know my location. Right, exactly. Yeah, don't tell the reality shifters. Oh my gosh, that is actually a great. Oh, that's a good test for reality shifters. Like if they can see a square circle, then they can't be in a real plane, like a real dimension. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. Did I actually try and see a square circle? No, but I've seen a lot of illogical things. I have found answers to questions that didn't matter. I found all sorts of fun things. Man, what is going on today? I'll give him one more chance. I'll just put him in timeout. So yeah, did I actually see a square circle? No, but I've seen colors that don't exist. And in my mind, I can imagine this color, and it doesn't exist. I've never seen it before, but I can't describe it. I can't use any words that I can think of to describe it. Right now, that's crazy talk. Dodecahedron. I don't know why you said that. But yeah, so like you can see these things. I never tried to see a square circle because by the time I had that argument with Lusitania, I'd already seen so many things that don't exist and can't exist and make absolutely no sense. Um, yeah, they're basically iridescent purples with extra tags. That's interesting because I'd say mine are closer to blue, but not blue. Like if you saw that color, there was nothing about you that would actually seeing the color would say blue, but it's the only color that's anywhere near it. But yeah, and extra tags. Exactly. My mind is like, that is, look, it's a do color. I'm like, yes, it is. Oh my gosh. Um, because it's a deception. You can accept all sorts of things that don't exist. Um, my goodness, I feel like I glossed over universe control, and I've got time today actually. Wait, hold up, 2:14. Do the math. I got 5 minutes. Okay. So universe control is super helpful. If you can teleport to a place that has the ability that you want, right? Um, you can teleport to, like, let's say you wanted to see extra colors. Now, if you're a Star Wars nerd, you know that Kaminoans, people from Camino, see different colors. You go to the world, and it's just this white hallway, but that's not what they see. They see all sorts of vibrant colors everywhere. So you could teleport there, and you could turn into one of them by teleporting, like I mentioned before. Um, or just like even if you just want to do the pill method, right? You can take a pill that knocks you out and makes you dream about that, and you can teleport, or right, or teleport the universe to you. Yes, exactly. Um, so then you're there, and you can see all these colors that humans technically aren't supposed to be able to see. So that's options with universe control. You want to learn how to use telekinesis. Um, you want to learn how to use telekinesis? Go to the Jedi Temple and take some classes. You know, you want to learn how to use pyrokinesis or elemental controls? Go and have the oh, I don't want to spoil that. Somebody in Avatar teach you. Go have Aang teach you. 12 flat faces, most familiar dedicated as regular. I don't understand how that's relevant to what we're talking about, Fraga. But yeah, universe control is super helpful. And I'd say a lot of us use that just by saying this is a dream. And so in our mind, it aligns the universe to the idea of it being a dream. And so we think in dream universe, I can do this. I would hope that you've seen Avatar, Mystic. I'm sure you have. But yeah, I don't want to spoil one of the best scenes in Avatar. But yeah, go watch Avatar, you guys. Get taught by Azula. Oh my gosh, that would be a rough. That would be a rough tutelage. I want to become Aaron Yeager and rumble my school down. Yeah. Um. So yeah, I mean that's a great. I mean, I don't really like Aaron Yeager as a character at all. I struggle with him. It's the reason I stopped watching the show. But like using those three dimensional, omnidirectional devices, those are super fun. Um, you know, there's all sorts of fun things you can do. Or of course, if you want to turn into a Titan, all sorts of fun things you can do that. Yeah, he is. I agree. Not a big fan. I don't like any of his decisions that he's ever made. So not a good character for me to enjoy. Yeah. So great stuff all around. I hope that I didn't get too much in the weeds at the very end, but yeah, I enjoyed the stream. Hope you guys did too. Um, if you have any questions about Dream Control, you can add them in the comments at the bottom, and I'll answer them there. Or you can, of course, go to the OmniLucid Discord server. That'll be linked in the comments as well. And yeah, goodbye. I'm going to end the broadcast. You're supposed to end it while I was talking. What are you doing?